Oh goodness, it's been a while since we have been ice fishing. That is the first fish of the year, the first good bite. You know, I've always said that ice fishing is one of the best ways to catch 100 fish in a day, and if we were going to keep them, that's a good sized bluegill. We're going to have fun today. We're glad you're here. Welcome to the show.
Country and a four-wheel drive, top down, dirt road so alive. Pitch a tent near my best fishing spot. Gonna dive into the water if it gets too hot. We're hiking up the mountain, thank the man upstairs for giving us the country and the cool, clean air. Whenever that smoke fills, city gets too much. Well, we're gonna drive out to the country.
And these bluegills just stacked up in here. Do that again. They are just swarming on this thing. Come on. Eat it. Oh, man. There he is. Gotta set that drag a little tighter there. Another nice bluegill. Hey, we are on a bunch of these. These are fun. Oh, I love this. This is the first couple fish of the year. Honestly, haven't been out here after we got everything set up. And I'm going old school, man. I mean, we've got the Mega Live with us, but I'm just using a flasher. And this is fun. We're in about 6 to 8 foot of water right now. And there's a bunch of bluegills, little brush pile down here. And we'll go over the equipment like we always do, but I'm just using a little VMC tubby jig. We'll do all the close-ups, all that stuff for you. But this is one deadly combination. It's been probably 2 years since we've had good ice. And these fish ought to be starving. Just the perfect type of fish that I want. Ones that are hungry and want to eat. Oh yeah, look at this right here again. This is crazy. Come here. Do it. There he is. Oh, fun, fun, fun. We're going to add a bunch of these up for to clean and have a little fry later. And it is so fun when they are stacked up like this. There's just a little tiny brush pile there in about 6 foot of water. And all I'm doing is letting that jig down there and holding it just about a foot above them. Here they come again. About a foot above them. And just shaking it ever so lightly. I had a bunch of Wired to Fish coffee this morning, and I don't need to shake it. I got enough caffeine in me. It's working by itself. There he is. There's a better one there. Oh yeah, there you go. That's the bluegills we're looking for. Give you a little tip right here. Anytime you're using an ice fishing jig for panfish specifically, what I'll do, you want to keep that bait as horizontal as you possibly can, especially for crappies. That's going to be a big key right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull the knot back toward the point of the hook, and then that will keep it horizontal on there. The other thing I'm going to do is I take a little pliers and I bend the hook up just like a little bit. You crappie fishermen know what I'm talking about. It's like pulling a crappie jig out of a log. Once you start rebending it, it gives it a bigger gap and you end up catching crappies deeper or more successfully in better places in the mouth. So that's what I'm doing. That hook is bent up. I'm making sure that bait is horizontal and we're getting bit. Oh, darn it. You got tangled up in there, didn't you? Wrapped me all around there. They are eating that jig good now, and that's exactly what we want to see. Got to be a little better at getting things untangled, but yeah. They're eating it good. Keep him too. This is going to be really good to eat when we're done with this. There ain't nothing better than cold bluegills and cold crappies. That's a better one there. Come on, you. Get up here. There you go. Had to move to a little bit deeper water just to see if we could find some bigger fish. We're catching plenty of them, but a lot of them are small, so just moved out to some deeper water and tip it with a little waxy on that jig and see if we can get on some bigger fish. Another one there. Look at a little guy though. Yeah. Oh, that's a little better. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You get enough of these. I don't think there's anything better than bluegills ice fishing. Bluegills and crappies, man. Those are just so good to eat. And thank God we got a little snow out here because it's tough as it is. If this was clear ice, this would be really tough. You just got to kind of keep it in front of them and almost dead stick it, and that seems to be working. Some days are real aggressive. Right now, that's not the case, so we just got to slow down and keep going. That's a good one there. Oh, good, nice. Another right here. Look at that. It's like a hybrid cross. Look at that strange fish. Is that cool? Looks like almost like a big warmouth. Man, did he whack that thing. What What a pretty fish though. Isn't that kind of the cool markings on that thing? Look how fat that guy is. Yeah, that's fun. Add him to the pile. Very cool. Very cool. You know, it definitely did get tough. We went shallow, we went deep. Now what we're finding is we're going back shallow, and I actually took the plastic off and just stuck with the little tubby jig and just tipped it with a little waxworm. You know, ice fishing's no different than any other type of fishing. You can't give the fish what you want. You have to give them what they want. And there are times, like if you have a preconceived notion, like I know they're going to bite this, and then you go out there and it gets frustrating and you get it in your head, hey, it happens to me too. And I really think they should be biting this. And then they don't. You got to move things around all the time. A lot of times it's not color. And sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's downsizing the smaller baits to get bit. Just like in open water, sometimes when I have to downsize my baits like a Ned rig, well, you know what? This is kind of like the little Ned rig version. I've got to the smallest jig that I possibly can, tip it with a little waxworm and just keep it in front of their face. You have to give them what they want, not what you want. I'll tell you what, oh, look at this bluegill. Oh, goodness gracious, look at that one. Is that nice? There is one bait that when we do ice fishing shows, look at that pretty fish right there. We've talked about this tubby jig, and I'm going to show you a couple different sizes, but it's a tungsten, it's just a little tungsten tubby jig. Shows up really good on your electronics. And I am telling you, no matter where I go and I need to catch panfish, that tubby jig, it's just tough to beat. This segment of Jim Crowley Outdoors is brought to you by these and other fine sponsors. It's really cool when you're sitting there and I pull my jig up and you see 2 or 3 of the lines just race right for it. They get in competition like that, like here comes one now. There he is, told you. Yeah. Oh, that was so cool to watch that. That was so fun. So what I was trying to tell you before I was officially interrupted, was that, especially, and I still love flashers, man. I love flashers because then you can see that fish right there and all of a sudden 2 or 3 lines start moving forward and you know, just wait. And if they stop and don't do anything, you raise that bait up just a little bit, 9 times out of 10, they pop it. Cool, fun. Get really close. Really, really, really close. Yeah, that still doesn't take up the whole screen. That's a good one too. There we go. Oh, pull and drag, baby. I love it. Come on. Come on. Gotta tighten the drag up a little bit on this one. There you nice little chunky bluegill. You are chunky, man. I thought you were bigger than that. You're still nice. Look at that. And they fill up your hand. That is, you gonna give me my waxworm back, you thief? Cool. Oh, cool. Awesome. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Good. Nice, nice. These are just so pretty. Come here. Anytime bluegills fill your hands up, they're just beautiful today. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, that's just fun. You know, when you haven't been out in a couple months, and it's been a long time since we got to ice fish here where I live, and just because just weather is what it is, right? And but this year we definitely got the cold weather, and it's nice to be out first part of the year catching fish like this. I've always said that ice fishing is one of the best ways to catch 100 fish in a day, and the way they're hitting today, I don't know if we'll hit 100, but we sure are having fun. There. Oh man, did he whack that thing? Nice bluegill there. That was like a bass hit, man. He hammered that. Oh, these are just beautiful size. You are not coming off. That little VMC hook in there just hammered you. Goodness. Yeah, just about got you. Man, look at that. When they're that size, this is beautiful. Holy cow. Not just the ones, I mean, these are just the ones we're keeping. The ones we're throwing back, you're going through all kinds of sizes, but oh, what a great, you know what? It's still like being a kid. It's so much fun. I love ice fishing. Nice, simple, easy, small baits, and just have a lot of fun. Just have a lot of fun. Right here. Oh, look at him. Here he comes. Come on. Race up off the bottom so fast after you think that everyone that does that's going to hit it. Better one there. Better one there. Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about, man. That's what we're talking about. That is a red ear right there. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Look at that beautiful red ear right there. Is that awesome? Hey, you know what? What we're gonna do, we're gonna take you back to the studio where it's a little bit warmer. We'll go over all this equipment. Really easy stuff. Great way to catch a lot of fish. Yes, it's much warmer in here. So as always, I want to go over the equipment that we used today and caught a lot of bluegills. It was a lot of fun, even some of those red ears, which is always a nice surprise. That's awesome. So I'm going to show you the two rods that I used today. This is actually one of the first ice rods that I ever built. It's a really simple build, and all the rods that I build are from Mud Hole. And the cool thing is you can get the components individually, or you can also get an ice fishing rod kit where it comes with everything. So you have everything that you need to build your first ice fishing rod. And this was probably my first or second ice rod that I ever built, and I still use it all the time because it really fishes the lighter jigs like 1/32 really well. And that's what I have on here for this rod. I was fishing the 1/32 ounce tubby jig. It's a little smaller one. It's a tungsten jig. And I was using 4-pound Suffix Invisalign ice. It's an awesome fluorocarbon that's really durable but stays really supple in that cold water. And I've used Invisalign from Suffix for years, and this ice version of it is really good. So that's part of it. And the last part of it is a reel I was using, and this is the Cast King Royal Legend 2. This is in the 500 size, and like I said, I spooled it with 4-pound test on here. What a fantastic, inexpensive reel that's really durable. This has a 5-to-1 gear ratio. It has 5+1 ball bearings. And with casting, if you don't know what the +1 is, one ball bearing is always dedicated to the instant anti-reverse. So this is a rock solid reverse with an exceptionally smooth drag system on here. I love this little reel. Something that you might notice on here is if you notice that the shaft of the reel is a lot longer than most spinning reels. There's a reason for that, because when you have those thick gloves on, you can literally have really thick gloves to keep your hands warm, yet you're still free to use the reel. If you're interested in an ice fishing reel, I highly recommend this Royal Legend 2. It's also great for any panfish applications that you have, but I love it for ice fishing. So that's the first setup. Now, when we fished a little bit deeper, and even though we didn't find a lot of fish out there, we still had to check that out. Because like I said before, one of the keys to ice fishing is being mobile. So I wanted to check different places out. But I was using a heavier tungsten jig on that. I was using the tubby jig and 1/16 ounce for this one. So I used a little bit heavy rod. Now this is one that I built just a couple years ago, and I built this a lot different. This is pretty cool. This is one of the ice fishing kits from Mud Hole. I put together on here, or the cork kits came together as a kit, the grips did. And what I wanted to do is, I love the compressed carbon fiber reel seats from American Tackle. So I love the grip. This is the same grip that I use just about on all my open water spinning rods, and I love it. It contours to the hand real nice, and it's really nice when you have gloves. It's really comfortable on here. And so I use that. It also gives a great amount of feel. So on the smaller rod, that was a 21-inch blank, I think, and on this longer one here, I was fishing a 31-inch blank. So it doesn't matter. There's all kinds of blank sizes you can use depending on the fish that you want. Mud Hole has all those. They also have the charts that you can figure out where to put the guides and things like that. Just, you know what Mud Hole is. It's a #1 place where you can get all the education and information you want on rod building. And this is really cool because I did like a little chartreuse swirl here to match the reel, did purple on here. Absolutely just love it. And this rod has got an absolutely fantastic tip on it for ice fishing. It's a lot of fun. And when you get a bigger bass on there or a big crappie, this is one fantastic rod to fight fish on. I really like this one. Again, on this rod, I have the Royal Legend 2. from Cast King, and like I said, just same reel as the other one. It's got the 5-to-1 gear ratio, 5+1 ball bearings, and they make it in 3 different colors: the red, the lime green, and they make a white. So you can match your stuff. Hey, you know what? When you're ice fishing, it's fun. Match your reels to your rods. Your kids will love that as well. On top of it, these reels are really inexpensive. This is a great little setup. Again, set up with that 4-pound Suffix ice. Those were the 2 setups. It doesn't get too much more simple than that. Just making sure we're having a lot of fun. Great for the first trip of the year. Let's go out and catch some more fish. This segment of Jim Crowley Outdoors is brought to you by these and other fine sponsors. Oh yeah. It didn't even make it to the bottom on that one. It didn't even make it to the bottom. Very cool. Very, very cool. You know, one of the things that I've learned over the years is 2 of my favorite sizes are like 1/32nd, 1/16th. And sometimes when they don't hit that slow fall, I go to just a little bit heavier one. Like this is just a 1/16 ounce tungsten. And that rocket fall to the bottom and then pull it up and you'll just see them shoot off the bottom. It's funny. Sometimes when they're lethargic, that fast fall will just trigger a strike, which goes to tell you a lot of times in your lure presentation, it's not always the color, it's speed and depth. And once you adjust those, so right now we're not fishing very deep, 6 to 7 foot of water, but when that bait rockets toward the bottom, I pull it right up off the top. Anything that's close to the bottom or near there comes right up after it. It's depth and retrieve speed. I've had the Strike Master lithium auger for years, a 24 volt. The battery charges really quickly and it lasts all day long. But more importantly, I want to show you some of the safety features on here. Here's your on-off switch, but it will not work or it will not function until you press the safety button down here. So you have to press these in conjunction together for this to go. That is a great safety feature because I don't want it just going and not knowing when it's going to happen. I have to press both. I also have a forward and reverse on here. So if it gets stuck in the ice, I can just simply stick it to reverse and then I can do it. But I want to show you how easy this is to operate because you're going to get a beep before it starts. So check this out. This is really cool. And there you go. That's almost through at this part of the lake we're on. It's about 6 inches of ice and it went through relatively quickly with very little torque on me. This is a fantastic auger. It's by Strike Master. This has been my favorite, like I said, for the last 3 or 4 years. I'm glad I finally got to use it again this year, and even after all that time in storage, I put the battery on the charger. That lithium battery held its charge. Strike Master, you got a winner with this one. Yeah, you weren't coming off. Look at that. Isn't that a pretty fish right there? Look at that. I just love those. I've always said one thing about bluegills, they're like the gateway drug. Once you get hooked on those, that's what really hooks you on fishing. And it's funny, you come full circle. You know, you catch a lot of big fish and that's always fun, or go deep sea fishing. The funny thing is, you come bluegill fishing, especially when you're ice fishing, it still puts a big smile on your face. If those things got to be 5 or 6 pounds, it's probably all I'd fish for. Awesome. I'm going to show you guys just a little trick that I do. It just helps you detect the bite, because most of the bites are kind of light today. And so, let me straighten this back out here. Okay, so what I'm doing on here is, after I drop my bait back down, there's so many fish down there right now, it's hard to even see my bait where it's at. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if you notice right here on the reel, I'm keeping the line right on my finger. And a lot of times that's exactly how I'm moving that jig. There, it worked just like that. And all I'm doing is, I'm not really moving the rod tip a lot. All I'm doing is I am taking the line, show it to you again here, right here, keep the line on my finger, and then all I'm doing is taking my finger and moving it. If you see the jig in the hole right there, all it's doing is a very subtle movement, and that's just my finger. As soon as they hit it, that feel gets transferred right through to my finger, and I set the hook. But a lot of times, instead of jigging up real hard with the rod tip or using a rod tip, just put it near the tip of your finger and then just pull up and down just so subtly. That's drawn a lot of strikes today. Yeah, look at that. Holy cow, look at that bluegill right there. Is that cool? Oh, look at the size of that bluegill right there. Is that nice? Oh my goodness. See if I can get him. I can't get my hand all the way around. That's a good bluegill right there when that happens. You just get him. There you go. Look at that. You know what? We had an absolutely awesome day today. Ice fishing is so much fun just when it's this simple setup, just like this. Anybody can do it, as long as you're safe about it. Now, we checked out here. There was at least 5.5 inches of ice. I'm not one of those guys who likes coming out here on, 3.5, 4 inches of ice. I like a good, and I checked that. I have my safety tools. I have a throw rope. I have ice picks. I have all that right here. We know we're in good, solid area right here. Make sure that when you go, we've got friends out here. Always go fishing with somebody, okay? Do not go ice fishing by yourself. It's just not safe. Your life is not worth a fish. We had a great time today. What a fantastic way to start the year, and I'm so glad that you joined us. As I always say, we wouldn't have a show if it was for you. Until next time, God bless you. I'm Jim Crowley. We'll see you soon. We sure appreciate you joining us today, and if you enjoyed what you watched, please check us out on social media, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. God bless us with a fantastic day today, and I hope He does exactly the same for you on your next fishing trip. See you soon.